Hey there guys, I'm John Campea. Thanks for visiting my movie vlog, and this is my quick review of the brand new Jennifer Lawrence film, Red Sparrow. And before you ask, no, there is no relation between Jennifer Lawrence and the director of the film, Francis Lawrence. Even though Francis Lawrence has already directed her in like 3 of the 4 Hunger Game films, no relation. In Red Sparrow, Jennifer Lawrence plays a ballerina who, after a tragic accident injures her leg, is unable to dance anymore and therefore unable to provide for herself and her ailing mother. Into the scene comes her uncle, who works for the government, who says, "The government may have a way for you to serve, and if you do, we'll take care of you and your mother." She gets sent off to a special training school where they teach the kids how to become Red Sparrows, the ultimate weapon of deception and seduction. Look, I'll tell you right off the bat, this isn't a bad movie, but it's not particularly a very good movie either. Some of the positives of this film are obviously the performances of the leads. You got Jennifer Lawrence, who does a really good job. She brings a really good emotional element to her character as well. In what could just become a little paint-by-the-numbers spy action thriller, Jennifer Lawrence actually brings a few layers of emotional depth to it as well, and that really worked. Joel Edgerton is just one of the most underrated actors in the business today. He brings a really good performance as well. And I'll have to say, there are a couple of really sharp action scenes that you'll probably be talking about a little bit. Those action scenes are a little bit short and all too brief, but still, when they are happening, you're really brought into the movie. On top of that, within this movie are 2 great mysteries. One mystery is, who is the Russian mole? That's one of the big primary narrative driving mysteries of the film, and that one is actually portrayed really well. The second mystery of the film for the audience is, which side is Jennifer Lawrence really on? And they really didn't execute that mystery very well at all. Because as we were getting closer to the end of the film, I realized, oh, wait a minute. Do the filmmakers actually think we, the audience, aren't sure which side Jennifer Lawrence is on? I just kind of assumed throughout the film they were making it obvious, but then you get close to the end of the film and you realize, oh, wait a minute, the filmmakers seem to think that we don't know which side she's on. Wow, they really blew that. However, the biggest problem with Red Sparrow as a movie, again, it's not a horrible movie, but the biggest problem with it that is going to prevent me from really recommending you rush out to see it is the fact that this movie is really sluggish. Now listen, there's a difference between slow pace and sluggish. Slow pace, you still feel a sense of cadence to the movie. This one was just sluggish. There were so many scenes in this movie that when you just sit back and reflect, you realize that scene didn't even need to be in there. The movie comes in at around a crisp 2 hours and 20 minutes, something like that, and you easily could have shaved about 15 to 20 of those minutes out of the film, maybe improve the pace a little bit, but you're just sitting there going, like, looking at your watch, it's like, oh, you just feel like you're trying to walk through 50 yards of mud. One of the other big mistakes that they make with this film is that I feel like we as an audience could have gotten more invested in the film, emotionally especially, if we got more connected to the Jennifer Lawrence character and felt more sympathy for her. Yes, we saw her go through a tragedy at the beginning and our hearts go out to her, but we never really got to know her at all before this whole experience starts happening to her. And as a result, I really didn't care all that much which side she was on, even though they made it obvious which side she was on. I didn't care if she lived or died in this scene, which obviously she lives because she's the hero of the film. But you just find I didn't care all that much because they never got us attached to her first. I'll say that the political intrigue side of the film actually played okay. I was getting into those parts, but again, those parts would come and then they would go pretty quick, and we'd get back into the sluggishness and we'd get back into some awkward dialogue and things like that. But there are some pretty uplifting moments as well once you get into the political intrigue. But overall, once you get to the end of the movie, for me, despite the fact that there are some pretty good performances in it, the mystery about the Russian moles played pretty good, and they do a not bad job with the political intrigue angle of it, it's just not enough to overcome the unbearable sluggishness of it, the fact that we never got connected to the Jennifer Lawrence character at first, the fact that they never did a good job of making us, the audience, ever wonder what side she was on. So by the end of it, it was just kind of anticlimactic, and I went, meh. But the big question here is, what are your thoughts on Red Sparrow? Have you seen the film already? If so, what are your thoughts? If not, what are your expectations going into it? Jump down to the comments section and let me know your thoughts. Listen, guys, while you're here, why don't you take a second, click on that subscribe button, click the thumbs up button to support the video, and make sure you follow me on social media and on Twitter, simply at John Campea. That'll do it for me, guys. Thanks a lot for joining me. My name's John Campea, and until my next video, bye-bye.